Cyberpunk gets a huge next-gen patch. CrossFire X makes adjustments that have been plaguing the game's release, and we got the second half of February's Xbox Game Pass announcement. Welcome back to another video, guys. If you enjoy daily content, make sure to hit that subscribe button. So yesterday we got teased that there was going to be the next generation patch coming to Cyberpunk 2077 for the PS5 and the Xbox Series X and S. We saw people's Cyberpunk tile showing up on their Xbox with the optimized for Series X and S overlay on it, and they had a stream today to officially announce that the game is finally getting that next generation update. Now, there is a lot of stuff within this update that goes beyond just like graphical improvements and stability stuff, but just so many different things I'm not going to go over. It's a very, very big release, as you can see here. But the main takeaway for those who were looking to get an upgrade to the game for the Xbox Series X and S that wasn't previously there is in this image here. Everything that is going to be available that wasn't previously available with the PS5 and the Xbox Series X and S versions. So as we can see here, we have new weapons, additional apartments and hairdressing mirror, rebalance of gameplay economy and loot systems, ray traced local shadows, various visual quality improvements, spatial headphone audio, improved crowd reactions, and then on the PS5 you have the DualSense controller features. Now again, all available here, Series X, Series S, and PS5. Obviously not the DualSense stuff for the Series X and the Series S, but from what we're seeing is that this is going to just really overhaul and make the game actually enjoyable to play on these next gen consoles. I believe on the Series X and the PS5 previously, it was still okay to play, or at least specifically on the Series X. I don't know about the PS5. As you can see, a bunch of stuff getting added to the game, but the main thing is that this game is going to now run better on these next gen consoles. I believe previously, specifically on the Xbox Series X, it still ran decently. It was probably the best out of all the consoles when it first came out, but didn't have the next generation. And it almost seems like today is the official release date for Cyberpunk 2077, and it would have been delayed until now for this game to be fully complete and release without any bugs, or at least as many bugs and as much problems as it had when it initially came out. So we look here in the next gen exclusive. So there's going to be added ray trace local light shadows, implemented native achievement support on next gen consoles. Note that as the next gen version has a different SKU, PlayStation trophies obtained in backwards compatibility will not be transferred, but the Xbox achievements will automatically appear on the new version using the smart delivery feature. Now that's again is a massive point and just something that Xbox has a big advantage over when it comes to the PlayStation 5. Smart delivery is not just a buzzword, it's a feature that continues to show how good it is and something that is dearly missed on the PS5. And I hope at some point they work out the transfer from PS4 to PS5 games and just the ease of what we get on the Xbox Series X and S with smart delivery. And then there will be two graphics modes on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X. So specifically when we're breaking down the modes between the games, the PS5 and Series X get both a performance mode, which gives 60 frames per second at 4K, and then the ray tracing, which is 30 frames per second at 4K with local shadows that are ray traced. But then on the Xbox Series S, it's just standard in 30 FPS at 1440p. And again, to me, that's kind of a disappointment that they aren't adding in that 60 FPS mode to the Xbox Series S. I mean, I'm sure they could just lower that resolution down to 1080 or have it even dynamic 1080 and get 60 frames per second on the Series S. This is a choice that developers you see them make sometimes, and I'm not sure why they don't focus on getting a performance mode over to the Series S as well. But I guess with the development trouble that's been going on with Cyberpunk and how long it's taken them to get these next gen updates out there, they probably have just put that on the back burner and hey, maybe it'll come at a different time. Now, with all of this being said, there is right now a 5-hour trial of this game. You can go and download it on your Xbox and play it for the next 30 days. I believe after 30 days it will expire. So if you want to check it out, see what the updates are about, and if you enjoy what you've played, then maybe you can jump in later. I'm sure they're going to have lots of sales on this game. I believe it's already like 50% off or something like that, and that will continue to happen to try to push this game out more to the people that have been waiting to play it, such as myself. I haven't checked out Cyberpunk yet. I've been waiting for this next gen patch. and now I may try out the trial, and if I enjoy it, may decide to pick up the game. Okay, moving over here to another big update, and this is for CrossFire X. Talked about this yesterday, where the developer came out and apologized for the release, and this game has just been getting absolutely destroyed. People are saying it's one of the worst games to be released in 2022 for various reasons. I mean, there have been, from what I've seen, because I haven't played yet, lots of issues with the actual release itself. But here are some changes that they have made. First of all, there was an Xbox Game Pass issue with this game when it came to the single player mode of the game. It wasn't there for some reason. It wasn't unlocking, and that was Operation Catalyst. And now apparently that's been resolved, and all Xbox Game Pass players should now be able to unlock Operation Catalyst. And this is good for me because I want to play the single player more so than the multiplayer. So I was kind of confused as to where the single player mode was, because I did pre-order it, and I just, for some reason, it wasn't popping up on my Xbox, wasn't popping up on Game Pass, but now I know there was an issue with that. They also have fixed the issue that they had with the car 4 with ADS. That should be resolved now. There's balance improvements for the Boogeyman, and their default controller sensitivity will be adjusted for this update. So they say, please ensure that you adjust your settings after the update to ensure that they are to your liking. So 4 big things I think that were really plaguing people's gameplay experience with CrossFire X, and we'll see what this does for the quality of life and the overall improvements of this game. I don't know how this game is going to recover after its initial launch and just kind of the negativity around it, and maybe it will. Maybe this is a work in progress and then people will come around to it later on, but we'll have to wait and see. I still do want to check it out. I still do want to check out and play that single player. And finally, to end things off here, we got the second half of February's Xbox Game Pass announcement. Now, right off the bat, you're going to look at this and think that this is not a very good announcement in terms of the quality or the hype around some of the games that are coming out here. And February itself, in reality, for a lot of people, doesn't have that big hitting game that a lot of other months have had with Xbox Game Pass releases, but I still think there is a lot of stuff to check out, especially within the first half's month of games. But here it is, and we got Mass Effect Legendary Edition, which we already had, but now it's going to be available on the cloud. Lawn Mowing Simulator on the cloud. Super Mega Baseball 3, which is kind of like a arcadey style of baseball game, which has great reviews and everything, and looks like it could be a fun game to play if you're into these more arcadey sports styles of games. So if you're looking at that, hey, you can check it out, and then you can play this until, I guess, MLB The Show 22 comes out in April. So there's something to keep you occupied if you're a baseball fan. Then there's Madden 22. If you're a Madden fan, I know the Super Bowl just passed, so people are probably fiending to play some sort of football right now. They could check that out. I used to love Madden, not that interested in the current generation and even last generation Maddens. They just haven't been too great for me to play. I've complained about them numerous times. Then we have Alice Madness Returns, which is like an action horror style of game. I remember playing this back in the day when it first came out, and I actually had some fun with it. Galactic Civilization 3, I had no idea what this game is, but it's a 4-time strategy game. So for those on PC that are interested in these types of games, they can kind of check it out and see if it's what they're interested in playing. It looks like a space adventure strategy game, so it could be some fun in there. I never heard about it before, so this is the first time actually ever seeing it. Then we have RoboQuest. Again, this one is in game preview, but I have never heard about this one either before. But it has like a Borderlands style of look to it, so that could be fun. And I think it's actually like a roguelike, they say here in the description. Yeah, so it's an FPS roguelite, playable in solo or co-op, set in a scorched future world. You battle against hordes of deadly robots in high octane gameplay. So if you're into that type of stuff, this one could be a little hidden gem that, hey, maybe you want to check out in game preview. So we'll continuously improve. And then we have here Total War Hammer 3, and I think that's the biggest release here in this announcement, because this is a day one game for an extremely popular franchise, and I know a lot of people who are Total War fans are going to be happy that this is coming to Xbox Game Pass. So all in all, I mean, less of a hyped up month February is right now, and There's still stuff to play though. That's one thing I always say with Xbox Game Pass releases. If there isn't that big hitter, that big name game that everybody knows that comes out, there are still so many great indie games to check out, so many great smaller games that you probably would never have played if it wasn't for Xbox Game Pass. So I take times like these slower months to check out those smaller games, and I'm always surprised and always happy that I took the plunge. Anyways, guys, that's it for me. Let me know what you think about the Cyberpunk update, the CrossFire X update, and the Xbox Game Pass games. If you enjoyed this video, hit that thumbs up button. You're new here, you like what you saw, consider subscribing to help this channel grow. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for your support, and I'll catch you in the next video.
Bye.